Orly's going to give a presentation on really some of the beginnings of the working details of what's going to be happening in the next few days. So inside the blue bag that we received, Eric is holding it up, are details of what she's going to present, so you can follow it that way as well. These details are extremely important because when we begin collecting data, as she will tell you, it's going to be a very tight and carefully controlled schedule. Orly.
I'm going to be.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll get it for you. You can sit. I'll do it. I get it for you. It's. I didn't realize we were going to do it now. One moment.
So first of all, I want to welcome everyone. Hopefully, we're going to have an enjoyable workshop, and maybe we can also collect some data. Okay. All right. So, that was fast. Okay, so first I'm going to talk a little bit about the computer setup for the remote data collection and for the data processing. How are we going to connect the computers at the Weizmann Institute, also to do use some software during the workshop. How are we going to get the user ID, and we're going to divide you guys to two groups. Hopefully you looked through the notes. We're also going to go through the schedule for the ESRF and DLS data collection. The ESRF is on Tuesday, on Thursday is the DLS, and how we can connect and transfer files, MTZ and PDB only. Like we said, we don't want you to retrieve all the actual frames from your data collection, because otherwise we're going to be kicked out of the Weizmann Institute. So we want you to come back here, so we won't do it this time. And then some Linux command. Is there anyone who is not familiar with the Linux? Perfect. So, okay, I can one-on-one, we can go over it. Okay, so we don't have to go, so we don't have to go through that. Is it? Okay, so tomorrow, right, that's the first one? Yeah. So tomorrow we're gonna be in a different, as you understood, in a different place, in the Lupati conference room. All the lectures and the tutorial and data processing will be at the Lupati Conference Center. Just opposite it, the same place, we're gonna have data collection. At the data collection room, we're gonna have all the remote data will be done at this room, okay? All the students, even the one which did not send their own crystals, will have the opportunity to remotely collect data, either on a test case crystals, if they didn't bring their own data crystals, or on their own crystals, both from ESRF and DLS. Again, I'm going to show you the schedule very soon. We're going to give you a username. In a minute, you'll see which one you got. You have it in your handouts. We'll try to do it. We have at the place where we are doing all the processing, we have 14 computers. You cannot use your own computer in order to process the data, okay? So, but we have 14 computers, which 2 of you will share one computer. And I guess because sometimes people will collect data and they will be in the Lupati hall, in the collection room, they will not use this laptop. So sometimes you will have your own laptop, okay? What else? Also, you've probably realized that the event is broadcast, and you can find the site on the homepage. And so, like we said, in the data collection room in the Lupati Center, we're going to have 2 computers for data collection, okay, for the remote data collection. And we divided all of you to 2 groups, group 1 and group 2. And again, we're going to look at the schedule very soon. In the big hall, we're going to have, like I said, 14 computers for data processing and so on. And like I said, each 2 people will share one computer. We do not want to tell you which one. Just if you see a computer, a free one, you can work. And if there is no free one, just join to one of the students and work together, okay? If you have 14 of the computers are, 16 actually, are PCs, right? And we have 2 Macs, and some of the Weizmann Institute people brought their own Mac. So we have different setups for remote data collection. If you have a PC, which is all the computers at the remote data room, and also at the Lupati conference room, there when you wanna connect to the PC, you double-click the mob extreme. You have it. Everything is set up on the computer, and then in order to log into the computer, you have to use your user ID. In a minute, we'll see what it is, and the same password for all people. Okay. Once you're there, you can actually create your own directory. So each person will have his own directory for his own protein or test case, and then you can go to your directory, and from there you can run all the software that we're gonna try in the workshop. Okay. So we want to make sure that each one would have a separate directory for their own data. Okay. Okay, if you do have a Mac, I mean, if you happen to work a Mac, we have 2 to give you, but other people which brought from the Weizmann might have a Mac. For that, you have to install VNC. The Mac that we give already have the VNC, and I asked from the Weizmann Institute participant to install the VNC. If you don't have, we'll help you tomorrow. And then, okay, the way it works is as follows. Okay, let's do it that way. Okay, we'll go here. Opa. This is a very important slide. Okay, so if you're working on a PC, this is your user ID. Okay, it goes alphabetically, and that's student 1 until 29. That's all the students or the participants. Okay, if you need to use the Mac, then up to number 9 we're okay, because if it's either student 9 or Collider Weizmann ACIL 9, but for some reason Kirill, the person who is in charge of the computer, could not get the number 10 and 11 to work. So here you have to, it's a little bit confusing, but everything is written. So you have to you don't have to memorize, just look at your name, and then you know which one you use depending on if you're on a PC, on a Mac. Most of the people, we use that. So it should be straightforward. Okay. For the ESRF, we're going to collect data starting from 12 to midnight tomorrow. Okay. We're going to carry out the data collection ID 29. It's a tunable microbeam with a wavelength of 6 to 20 kV. Here we show how you remotely connect via the browser to the ESRF. And tomorrow Stephanie and Sasha will talk a little bit more about it. We're going to use MX-Cube3. When we want to download files from the ESRF, again, the PDB and the MTZ files, we can either use the ISP beam or SCP command. Again, you have here all the information. The MTZ, you can, afterward, when you go back home, you can also download all the frames and everything. You can go back, as you understood, at ESRF, the frames will be there for a long time. Even if you decide to travel in Israel after the workshop, you will have time by the time you come back home. At DLS, again, the experiments will will be on IO4, and then again it's a tunable beam with that's the size of the beam. Okay, and we're going to use the No Machine software. Okay, and we're going to get more explanation tomorrow from Nick and Neil. Okay, again, we have instructions how to download the MTZ and the PDB files, and if you have larger data, then you can either bring a hard drive, which is not possible now because we are remotely from there, but for small quantity of files, you can also do the rsync. Okay, so this is the way the groups in your handout. There was a mistake Okay, these two people, okay, Sharuti and Ramita are switched. Okay, so this is group 1 and this is group 2. The way we're going to work out is as follows. Okay, so we're going to start tomorrow at ESRF. We're going to start at 12 o'clock. Some people will skip part of lunch. Okay, so from 12 to 12:30, that's Hadass. She brought some crystals. And then after that, Michal, 7 more crystals. After that, after lunch, it's going to be from 5 to 3:30. We have these people working. Each one going to get allocated 15 minutes. They're going to work on test case. So it's going to be 1 crystal, basically. Okay. Now we're going to work during lunch, during coffee break, during dinner. You know, it's a hard time. You didn't come here to have fun. Hopefully with data, but you have to work for that. So that's going to be until 3:15. Okay, that's all the test case, and then we're going to go again with 2. That's already group 2. So while these people are collecting data, okay, in the small room, when one person is collecting data, all the people from group 1 will be there. The rest of the people, we have a different session, right? We have the dials session for group 2, which is going to be opposite the remote data collection in the center, okay? And then we're going to switch. When group 2 are going to start to collect data, group 1 is going to go and have the dials session, and then group 2 are going to collect data according to the schedule that we have here. Okay, by the time we get after dinner, I think, or at least almost after dinner, we have no sessions, we have no actual sessions. We have here the schedule for people to collect data, and I guess the instructors are going to be available until when? Not until midnight, but until, I don't know. Okay, we'll see how awake they're going to be, but until some point, maybe after, I don't know if after dinner, but some people are going to still be around if you want their help in processing data and so on. Okay, so that's for the ESRF. For DLS, the same idea, okay? When one group is collecting data, even one person is collecting, all the group is together with them in the same room. The other group are still going to process data, either from ESRF or practice dials and CCP4 and so on and so forth. Okay, so it's the same idea. You have the schedule here. If you have questions, you are more than welcome to ask. I have to say that I'm going to be the bad guy because we're going to really make sure, like Rick did, he gave me a good example now. 4 minutes is 4 minutes. I won't put the stopper, but 15 minutes is 15 minutes, 30 minutes. So we'll, make sure that everyone will be able at least to practice and hopefully to collect also data. Okay, we do have 2 data sets that we can work on. Okay, they're available in all the computers that you're going to log on. They're there, and we can practice on, processing this data. I'm not going to go through these commands. Whoever needs help with the VI commands, then I can help them. If you have, yeah.
So just to make it clear, stay.
Yeah.
The 16 computers that are in the large conference room that you'll use, basically, although they're PCs, they're in essence just terminals.
Yeah.
So I think there's no password even to get into them because there's nothing you're going to do on them. They're going to lead you to what we call a cloud computer called Collider here at the Weizmann that's set up just for this course with all the programs. So you just will log in, and so it doesn't matter which computer you're using. You will use your student name and this one password to get into the bigger computer, and the other one just the front end for that bigger computer. Okay, go back.
Your code is also working.
Yeah, everything is working.
Yeah.
Everything.
So even
All the list of all the programs.
Go over the list.
Yeah, we can go
First
over the
slide.
list. Okay, so all the all the programs here should be working. COOT, CCP4I, I2, Phoenix, all this. Okay, the app, the XDS app, PyMol, dials. Everything should work in all the 16 computers, but 2 computers in the data collection room, you should not use them for any of these, only in the processing in the other room where we process the data, where we have 14 PCs, 2 Mac. So if you have any other questions, and while we're working, you know, we're going to be here and help you. Yeah. Can't hear.
Speak louder.
It's not auto processing.
It is auto in yeah. But, right. 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 Thank you. Okay. So there is a yeah. Sorry. If you don't want to get only your MTZ files, but maybe also your structure while you collect data, so I would ask you to send me first of all the sequence of your protein. If you remember the acronym of your protein, that would be easier. W whatever it was, test case, whatever it is. And if you know a PDB of your either protein or a related PDB, please send it to me as well today, so we can enter all this information to DLS, ESRF, and then we can go even, you know, the results are going to be even more. We won't write for you the papers, but until the structure.
That's not just for experimental phasing, that's if you're looking for a ligand or you
Right.
want to try out if you've got a hot log you think might be a molecular replacement target. If you want fast answers, send that information through to Orly before the law process and so on.
Try to do it today so we can enter all the information to the book.
Other questions?
What do we need our own computers?
If you have your own computers, then
I
I
don't.
have my own, but I don't have a secure Wi-Fi.
sorry,
no,
you don't know which.
Secure Wi-Fi.
If you don't have secure Wi-Fi, it won't work. This to get into this cloud computer, it's actually inside the firewall of the Weizmann. So all of these computers that we're providing have that. Otherwise, everyone can use the guest one, which is Weiss Hotspot, but that won't get you to the local cloud computer. Yes. What? You can of course collect ED-ROM here, but you won't be able to get into the local cloud computer. That's inside the firewall, and only the ones which are blessed. We can't bless the ones which are coming in too quickly. Other question. All right, so I have Rick.
Maybe it's good to mention that if you start processing these dials, for example, you do that in as shown there, so that you start up these computings in a certain directory.
Yeah, that's why I said
Yes,
before, right.
exactly.
So I mean, we would like you, if possible, you know, like once you get into the computer, make your own a directory of your own project, and then whatever you run, just have something which will, you know, will know that it belongs to you and not to
Yes,
someone
then
else.
the next day you can find it.
That's also true.
So and if you have questions tomorrow, there'll be a lot of people around, and so there will be a small group that will be working, processing, another group inside collecting. So it won't be difficult to ask someone. And if you're not certain, just ask, better than to make crazy errors and waste your time. Other questions?